What winning percentage tells us about the greatest teams of all time by net wins? Raw win totals are a trap. A team that wins 72 games in an 82 game season played the same schedule as a team that wins 47. A team that won 52 games in a 71 game season played fewer. Winning percentage combined regular season and playoff wins divided by combined games removes that noise and asks a single honest question. When this team played, how often did it win? The study covers every NBA champion from 1946 through 2025-26. The average winning percentage across all champions in this database is 0.712. That's the floor of legitimacy. Teams above it were genuinely good. Teams well above it were historically great. Teams below it won in spite of their record rather than because of it. What follows is what the data reveals. Not just the top 10, but the full picture of dynasties, eras, and the franchises that keep showing up near the top of this list. The top 10 greatest NBA championship seasons by combined winning percentage, NBA only. Starting with the Chicago Bulls, two different dynasties. The Jordan Bulls had two distinct championship runs, and the data makes clear which was the greater one. The 1993 run of three titles, 0.768, 788, and 713 was an average of 0.756. The 1995 through 98 run, 0.87, 0.832, 0.748 for an average of 0.817. The second run significantly better, and the reason straightforward. Dennis Rodman. The 92-93 Bulls were a great team. The 95-96 Bulls were the greatest championship team in the history of the sport. Rodman's impact on that team's net wins, 10.8 combined in 95-96, 8.7 in 96-97 shows up clearly in the formula. A player who contributed almost no offense, but whose rebounding and defense made the entire system more difficult to beat. The 95-96 team's 0.87 and the 96-97 team's 0.832 are the first and fourth best winning percentages in the database. The 1990 through 93 teams produced nothing above 0.79. The difference was not Jordan. Jordan was Jordan in both eras. The difference was the construction around him. Bill Russell's Celtics. Celtics have won 18 championships. Only one top five season. Boston's dynasty under Russell produced 11 championships and by conventional measure is the greatest sustained run in NBA history. The winning percentage data tells a more complicated story. The Celtics championship seasons ranked by winning percentage. The 64-65 Celtics, often cited as Russell's best team, ranked fourth in franchise history. They went 70-22 combined, which is strong but falls short of the Bird era ceiling. The best Celtics team by this measure is not from the Russell era at all. It's the 85-86 Bird Mikhail Parrish squad at 0.82, the sixth best championship winning percentage in history. The Russell dynasty's lower winning percentages largely reflect the era: shorter seasons, smaller playoff fields, fewer available wins. The formula is not penalizing Russell, it's capturing what the format allowed. In a modern 82-game season with 4 playoff rounds, those Celtics teams would almost certainly cluster higher. What the data does confirm, the 64-65 team was not quite the all-time elite squad that narrative has sometimes made it, at least not by this measure. The 23-24 Celtics at 0.792 are the second best team in franchise history by winning percentage. The Russell legacy is extraordinary by any measure, but the Bird era teams in the 24 team rank above even his greatest seasons on the specific metric. The Bad Boys Pistons. Above average, not elite. Detroit's back-to-back titles in 89-90 produced winning percentages of 0.788 and 0.725, both above the championship average, but neither approaching the elite tier. The 88-89 Pistons at 0.788 were a genuinely strong team. The 89-90 squad at 0.725 won the title against an aging Lakers team and a young Bulls team that Jordan could not yet carry alone. Neither cracks 80%. By this measure, the Bad Boys were a good championship team, not a historically great one. What they were, uniquely, memorably, consequentially, was the team that showed the rest of the league how to build around toughness and defensive structure. That legacy doesn't show up in winning percentage. What does show up is a team that won because it was better than its competition in 2 specific years, not because it was operating at the level of the Bulls or Celtics at their peaks. Golden State, 24 through 2018, the greatest 4-year run in NBA history. The Warriors won 3 championships in 4 years, with a 73-win 2015-16 season sitting between the two of them, if you include all 4 seasons. 3 titles, 4 seasons with winning percentages of .806, .830, .838, and .718. No 4-year stretch in NBA history produced that kind of sustained winning across both the regular season and the playoffs. The 2015-16 Warriors at .83 would rank second all-time if they had won the championship. They did not, and they're not in this list for that reason. Cleveland earned that verdict. But the aggregate output of that 4-year window, including the finals loss, is the greatest sustained team performance the sport has produced. The 21-22 title at .663 brought the dynasty to 5 championships total, but by then the window was narrowing. The peak was 2014 through 2018. The Houston Rockets, Jordan's gift to history. Both Houston championships ranked below the .712 average. 93-94, .695. The 94-95 team, .596. The 94-95 Rockets at .596 are among the weakest championship teams in the modern era by this measure. They won 47 regular season games. They needed 7 games to beat Utah in the first round. They beat an Orlando team led by a 21-year-old Shaquille O'Neal in the finals. The reasonable question this raises, would Michael Jordan have won in 94-95 if he had not retired? He retired before the 93-94 season and returned near the end of 94-95. The Rockets' winning percentages in both seasons suggest that the Eastern Conference produced no dominant team in those 2 years. Jordan's Bulls at their 95 through 98 peak would have been a significant favorite against either Houston championship team. The history that exists is the history that happened, but the data makes clear that Houston's 2 titles came in the 2 years the competition was most depleted. The Los Angeles Lakers, the franchise that owns the average. The Lakers have won 12 NBA championships. 11 of them produced winning percentages above the average. The single exception, the 09-10 team, 2009-2010 team at .695 still came within 2 percentage points of that line. Their full championship record. No franchise in the database comes close to this consistency. 11 above average championship seasons is not luck or scheduling. It's a franchise that's repeatedly assembled genuinely elite teams across 7 decades. The 71-72 Lakers at .835 remain one of the 3 best championship teams in history. The Showtime era produced 4 titles between .719 and 8. The Shaq-Kobe three-peat produced 3 consecutive seasons above 7.2. LeBron's Miami Heat, the second team was better. The Miami Heat's 2 LeBron James championships tell a clear developmental story. The 11-12 team at .697, LeBron's first title, the redemption season, and the 2012-2013 Heat at .781, back-to-back, clearly the better team. The 2013 Heat at .781 with a more complete team. They won 66 regular season games, went 16-7 in the playoffs. LeBron's net wins that season, 23.3 combined, represent the highest single season total in the modern era. The 2011-12 team was the one that mattered most emotionally. The 2012-13 team was the better basketball team by every objective measure. The .781 for the 12-13 team ranked 15th among all-time championships. The .697 for 11 and the 12 sits just below the average. The difference between the 2 seasons reflects a team that learned how to win and then became comfortable dominating. The Minneapolis Lakers, 5 titles, 1 good season. The original Lakers dynasty produced 5 championships between 1948 and 54 by winning percentage, 1 season above .712. The dynasty won because of George Mikan's individual dominance over a talent pool that was thin by any modern standard. The BAA and early NBA were not deep leagues. Mikan was so far ahead of his contemporaries that Minneapolis could win championships while posting winning percentages that would represent a borderline playoff team today. It's not a criticism of Mike and his net wins in those postseasons are extraordinary. It's a reflection of era. The 48-49 team at .743 was the genuine article. The rest won because the competition was insufficient. The New York Knicks, 3 titles. New York's 3 championships rank in declining order by winning percentage. The 2025-26 Knicks at .683 are the lowest of the 3 by this measure. A team that went 53-29 in the regular season, then navigated a challenging bracket to win 16 playoff games against quality competition. The 69-70 team with Willis Reed was the best Knicks team by winning percentage, barely above the .712 average. The 2025 Knicks, the 2025-26 Knicks won against a field that included Wemby, SGA, and a competitive Western Conference. Context matters. The San Antonio Spurs, consistency across 2 decades. Spurs won 5 championships over 15 years. What the winning percentage data reveals is a franchise that produced remarkably consistent results across eras, roster constructions, and stylistic evolutions. A title every other year from '03 through '07, 3 championships in 9 seasons. The pattern broken by Dallas and Miami every single season above the .712 average. No dynasty in the database shows this kind of flat, sustained production across such a long window. The 98-99 Spurs at .776 are the best team by this measure, but even the '04-05 team at .714, the quietest of the 5 championships, sat above the average. Pop and Duncan built a system that did not require a historic season to produce a championship. They just had to be better than everyone else consistently for 15 years. The data confirms they were. The average champion. Across the full database, the average championship winning percentage is .712. That's the baseline. Above it, a team can make a legitimate claim to historical quality. Below it, a team won in spite of its record. Most franchises cluster near this line. The teams that appear well above it consistently across multiple seasons are the ones this study's been about. The formula does not lie. It counts wins and losses, regular season and playoffs together, and divides. What survives that calculation is the truth about which teams are actually the best. Net wins measures a player's contribution to the team's wins based on their share of positive and negative actions relative to teammates. Playoff net wins are calculated using the same formula applied to postseason box scores. Net wins is an original statistic developed at netwins.substack.com. The formula and all written content are original works, all rights reserved. Database is located at willf123 at github.io/NBA-net-wins. Thank you.